Ohio. Cesky Krumlov is the city of the South Czech region of the Czech Republic. Municipality with expanded powers and the administrative center of the area Cesky Krumlov. It is located on the Vltava River. The historic center of the city in 1992 is entered in the UNESCO World Cultural Heritage List. History. City building and the lock began in the first half of the 13th century, near the ford through Vltava, through which the important trade way in Bohemia lay. The city is located on both coasts of Vltava, forming an abrupt bend in this place. The first documentary mention of the lock Krumlov is dated 1240. Originally the city the feudal Sordvikovici from Krumlov, and then related to it the Sordvikovici from Rosenberg owned. Rosenbergi. Rosenberg. In Czech, Rosenberky. In Krumlov since 1302, about 300 years. The red rose from a family crest of this sort is a part of the city coat of arms of Cesky Krumlov so far. After suppression of the sort Rosenbergov, by the city emperors Rudolf II. In Krumlov there lived the mad son of Rudolf Julius Caesar Austrian. Ferdinand II, the sort Eggenbergov, and, at last, the sort Schwarzenbergov, which owned the lock till 1945 owned. In the middle of the 13th century, on the right coast of Vltava, there was a settlement which residents were immigrants from Bavaria and Austria. On the left coast of Vltava a little later than there was also a settlement called Latrin. Now the region of Latrin is a part of the historic center of the city, protected as an object of the World Cultural Heritage. Both settlements in 1347 were connected by the bridge and formed the city. In 1336 in Krumlov the city council is formed. At this time in the city crafts and trade gained development. Strengthenings of the city were strengthened by construction of a new city wall. In the 20s, the 15th century, as a result of reform of city board and the mayor, it was delivered Perkmaster, the headed city council. Rada. The position of a Perkmaster within a month in order of priority was held by one of members city Erglad. Also the position of the city bailiff performing police and judicial functions was entered. Besides, the small city council, which members hereinafter were referred to as city foremen, was founded. In city governing bodies only wealthy citizens were elected as a rule. In 1494 Krumlov received the status and the privileges of the royal city. Extraction of silver in neighboring mines gave a new impetus to development of city economy and trade. At the end of the 15th century the Krumlovsky lock, which is originally built in Gothic style, was reconstructed by the Italian architects of Antonio Arisa and Balthasar Madzhi in the representative lock of Renaissance. The last owner of the lock from the sort Rosenbergov in 1602 was forced to sell it because of accumulated debts to the Emperor Rudolf II. During 30 Years' War the city was repeatedly plundered. Upon termination of war many secular and religious constructions were reconstructed in Baroque style. The city became a part of the Austrian Empire in 1806 and Austria-Hungary in 1866. In 1910 86-62 persons, including 73-67 Germans and 12-65 Czechs, lived in the city. In 1918 the Czech troops occupied the city, and it remained a part of Czechoslovakia till 1938. During the period since 1938 or 1945, it was annexed by Nazi Germany. After World War II, the German-speaking population was deported to Austria and West Germany, and the city became a part of Czechoslovakia again. During communist regime, Krumlov decayed and fell into decay, but after the Velvet Revolution was more restored and now is one of the most popular tourist centers in the Czech Republic. Sites and tourism. Traditional colorful houses in the old city. The historic center of the city, an object of the World Cultural Heritage under protection of UNESCO. The Krumlovsky Lock, the second largest lock in the Czech Republic after Prague Castle, the total area of constructions of the lock, with the park, is 10 hectares. The majority of the buildings entering a lock complex was built from 14th to the 17th century. The prevailing architectural styles: Gothic, the Renaissance and Baroque. Glassova Bridge is built in 1767 and represents three-story transition between a residential part of the lock, a garden and theatre. St. Vitus's Church is mortgaged in 1340 in Gothic style, reconstructed in 1407, 1439, painted with frescoes of the 15th century. The main altar is reconstructed in 1673, 1683 in Baroque style. Body God's Church, 15th century. Church and Monastery of Minorists, 17th century. Town Hall on the main square of the historic center of Krumlov. Wax Museum. Theatre where the auditorium rotates in a ring scene. In Krumlov's Lock there is a theatre executed in Baroque style, finished in 1766 with original mechanisms, racks and scenery. Because of the age, the theatre is used for representations only 3 times in a year. Vltava. Proceeding through the city is the popular center of water sports, in particular, of rowing on a canoe. In 10 kilometers from the city, one of the oldest monasteries in Bohemia, Golden Corona, is located. In 2004-2005 in the city there took place a part of shooting hostel. In culture, Cesky Krumlov is the homeland of the Miller glutton Balan, the character of the cult novel Adventures of the Gallant Soldier Czech. The medieval illustrated manuscript of Liber Depictus, or the Krumlovsky Illustrated Code, is created in the Minoritsky monastery of the city. Since 1986 the holiday of a 5-petal rose, a medieval carnival, is spent. The famous Austrian artist expressionist Egon Schiele represented wonderful city landscapes of Krumlov. Cesky Krumlov. More than once. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.